An East Hampton elementary school addressing families this week after a swastika was found on a playground. Mountain View school families received a letter from the district Wednesday condemning the symbols, calling them hate-based and anti-Semitic. Western Mass News reporter Reagan Lokri spoke with police and a Jewish parent today and now joins us live in East Hampton with their responses. Reagan.
Yeah, that's right, Amanda. Western Mass News obtained a letter from a parent that went out Wednesday from the superintendent saying that swastikas were drawn on a school playground. Now, in the letter, East Hampton Superintendent Dr. Michelle Balch wrote, "This symbol of hate has no place in our schools or in our community." The district also said it has zero tolerance for hate-based or discriminatory behavior, including anti-Semitism, and said school administration is conducting a thorough investigation. East Hampton police tell Western Mass News officials were called after the chalk drawings had already been removed by school staff, meaning investigators never saw the symbol firsthand. Police also telling us there are no cameras or witnesses in the area, so they don't have any further leads. Police say they do not know who was responsible or even when the drawings were made, whether it was overnight or the morning of or during school. It's still unknown. One East Hampton resident sharing their frustration with Western Mass News.
I think it's definitely something that if it comes up, parents should definitely educate their kids about it. I mean, they should know not to keep doing that. Not everything is appropriate for kids to be doing, and parents can tell them that, and that's okay. It's the same as not touching a hot stove.
Now, we did speak to one Jewish parent off camera who shared the letter with Western Mass News. She told us they appreciate the district's communication, saying they feel the school has been transparent and proactive in keeping families informed. We also asked police about social media posts claiming other symbols or messages had been seen around town. Police say the only other incident they're aware of involved a Free Palestine written on a boardwalk near the pond, but they do not believe it is connected to the school incident. However, this is the first time a swastika was found. This isn't the first time a swastika is found in or near a school here in Western Mass.
I've heard of a few instances at local schools of the use of slurs before and some similar incidents, but it's shocking every time it happens.
Now, the district is also asking parents to educate their children about things like this, including bias, and they even included some links in that letter that they emailed out to parents to help them educate their children. For now, reporting live in East Hampton, Reagan Lokri, Western Mass News.